What is going on, everybody? It's the Front, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for March the 31st, 2021. 3 months in, 3 months down. 2021 and AEW is just strong as can be. Tonight really could have been labeled AEW The Night of Returns, with Christian Cage making his in-ring singles debut, returning to the ring in a singles capacity for the first time in over 7 years. Also, we had not one, but 2 returns in the main event from injury, and the Inner Circle returned to give payback to the Pinnacle, and we'll see all of that. So we started the show off with Christian Cage versus Frankie Kazarian. Now, this was definitely a different match than anything you would see in AEW. Definitely an old school style match. Everything had meaning. These guys just slowed it all down. This was not a fast match at all. Christian looking better than you probably thought he would in a 7-year stop, being gone for that long. He came out here, he had Kazarian there with him to help him through, and both of them came out looking good. Of course, Christian won the match, there's no doubt about that. You're not going to have... Now, they could have had Christian... If they wanted to do Christian a different way and have him feel like maybe he shouldn't be here, maybe he's overthinking himself, he could have lost this match and just had guys like Kazarian and others question, should he really be here in professional wrestling in his age when he just continues to lose. Of course, Kazarian wrestles almost every week. It's either on Dark Elevation, or on TV. Kazarian's having a match. So, and they mentioned this, that Christian just, it could have been bad for Christian. But he wins obviously with the kill switch after throwing him into... He had a frog splash, got a 2. They had a couple of reversals. He sends him into the pole shoulder first because that spot's getting old. Hits the kill switch, gets the win. So, good match to start off the show. Fans were really into Christian. They were chanting Christian's name. They booed everything that Kazarian did. So, Christian is definitely... They wanted to have Kazarian be the heel in this match. Definitely interesting to see Christian back in the wrestling ring. Singles match, of course. He was at the Royal Rumble. Got his little heartfelt moment with Edge, and then he came here, and this is it. Now, I'm hoping we see more of him in AEW Evolution, Dark Elevation, and Dark as itself. Not need to be something that we only see him once in a blue moon. He does want to wrestle regularly. Definitely, I would say, put him over there and get him some matches in. So Christian wins, and then we go backstage with... We see while Sting is walking with TNT champion Darby Allin, talking about big money Matt Hardy being a shell of himself, and rather than earning respect these days, he's looking to buy people's respect. Allin, wearing a Hardy mask, says Matt will have to earn his respect because money doesn't mean shit to him. Then we get a promo from Jade Cargill, and I'm sorry, they need to stop this. Jade Cargill has had 2 matches. One, which was high profile because of Shaq, Cody, of course. The other one was against Danny Jordan. I like Danny Jordan as a wrestler. I think she should get a lot more love in AEW than she does. But she's not a top or middle tier contender. She is somebody who goes in there, gets a move in or 2, and gets beat every single week. That's her role. So, something they definitely need to... having go out there and say, I look like money, I act like money, I talk like money. I don't give a shit. Get in the fucking ring, win some matches, actually do something in these matches instead of, here's 2 big power moves, I'll let my opponent do one thing to me, and that's that. No. Yeah, she's only had 2 matches in her entire career, both on TV. Get her some more matches, show us that she can actually do something, and stop having her talk because her promos fucking suck. She needs to lose the lisp. I know everyone's like, oh, let her be herself, and it's like, Cody had to get rid of the lisp. She needs to get rid of the lisps too. Just no. And until you give me her in the ring week in and week out, actually having matches, she ain't that bitch. She's just another rookie that they're trying to push to the moon who doesn't deserve anything. Cody Rhodes is the QT Marshall. This was an exhibition match with Arn Anderson as special guest referee. We all knew where this was going. It was blatantly obvious what was going to happen, but I don't think anyone expected what we got in the end. So, of course, we go to the ring, and all around the ring are Dustin, Nick Comoroto, Aaron Solo, Anthony Ogogo's out there, the Gun Club is out there. Everyone who's pretty much been registered to the Nightmare Factory, part of the Nightmare family, are out here for this. And Arn Anderson, of course, is the special guest referee. So they're having this little match. Cody's outdueling QT Marshall pretty much all the way. QT gets a movement here and there. We go to commercial. We come back. Cody, of course, has a chance to put the figure 4 on. Lets it go. Has a chance to do the crossroads. Lets it go. QT gets up, smacks him in the face. And Cody ends up dropping him. He goes to the outside. QT comes back in. Walks right over to Arn Anderson and pops him in the mouth. Gets out of the ring. Everybody in the Nightmare family comes in the ring, checks on Arn, wondering what the hell did this guy do? He's standing on stage. It's like, man, he has that look of, man, I fucked up. Then QT turns around, has his back to everybody, and Aaron Solo, Nick Comoroto, and Anthony Ogogo just start beating everybody up. Everybody in the ring gets destroyed. Solo has a chair. They're beating everybody up. Fucking Lee Johnson gets powerbombed from the ring to the ramp. That looked like that hurt. Nick Comoroto, big beefy Nick Comoroto, grabs the stairs. These stairs that are all one piece, puts it on the stage. Dustin, who's been busted open somehow, gets brought up, and QT power drives him through the stairs, on the stairs. They go to get Cody. Anthony Ogogo gets a couple gut shots into Cody. They bring him over. It looks like QT's going to try and do a concerto to him. Red Velvet comes out, stops all this, and they all leave. So we have another faction in AEW. I'm got a problem with this. First off, it's fine to see a guy like Anthony Ogogo finally doing something. He's been sitting on the sidelines on Dark. I'm sure, when they cut a promo next week, which they've got to cut a promo next week, or on Dark, or whenever, he's got to complain about the fact that he's been training his ass off for however long as he has, and all they have him doing is commentary with Taz and Excalibur. He has no problem with those two, but he knows he's here for more than just that. We just got a new faction, a new heel faction 3 weeks ago in the Pinnacle. Why are we all of a sudden getting another faction tonight? Just, I don't know why they decided to do this. I figured we were going to have, if QT would have just, punched Arn Anderson and walked away, I would have been fine with that. Just, okay, he's turned his back on the Nightmare family. And you bring Nick Comoroto and Aaron Solo and Anthony Ogogo in slowly but surely, but you didn't need to do it all at once. Again, we just got the Pinnacle. So, AEW's problem right now, in my opinion, is they are way too fucking heel heavy. And they have way too many factions. We have the Dark Order. We have Matt Hardy's financial people. We have the Pinnacle. We have the Inner Circle. You have this one now with QT Marshall. That's 5 factions at least. And then you got to think Death Triangle, which is a 3-man faction. That's 6. 2, and then of course the Nightmare family, Nightmare Factory, if you want to count that one too. That's 7. Too many factions in AEW. Just, I don't know why. I know New Japan goes faction heavy. I mean, they have their group of factions, but this is just getting ridiculous. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page backstage. They are apparently a tag team now, and they air their grievances about what has happened lately.
AEW hasn't lived up to their end of the deal. I give them star power. I'm a world-class athlete, and yet here I am being overlooked. handing opportunity after opportunity to any and everybody but me.
Wait a minute, Sky. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You went to Revolution. You won the Face of the Revolution ladder match. You got a fair and square opportunity against the TNT champion on the Wednesday after the pay-per-view, and you lost clean. How are you not getting opportunities, may I ask?
Forcing me to share the spotlight with, frankly, people who aren't even on my level. I'm the face of the revolution. I grabbed the brass ring. And now, we're not waiting, we're not asking. We'll take anything and everything we want. And it starts on Monday.
And they will be taking on the Seidel brothers. Of course, they're probably going to win it as Dark Elevation. But this boggles my mind. Yes, she's the delusional heel. That's what they're going with. They love using the delusional heel. But you lost clean to the TNT champion. That was a big opportunity, and you let it slip through your fingers. That ain't no one else's fault but your own. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Red Velvet tells Dasha she is Cody's partner and wanted to help him out earlier tonight, and Jay Cargill suddenly attacks her, throws her against the stage, and says, "I am that bitch." Again, not impressing me whatsoever. And then we go to our boy Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley has a match against Cesar Bononi, but before that, he gives us some words of things that have been going on.
The Good Brothers took out Eddie Kingston's ankle with a steel chair a couple weeks ago, and that pisses me off. I hate when there's foul rules like this. I'm getting jumped and attacked by goons every 2 seconds. That pisses me off. The Young Bucks can't figure out whether they want to be in the fight or not. They come out and try to appeal to somebody's sensibilities instead of swinging chairs. Whose side are you on, man? I don't know, but I guess I do still owe y'all one. That pisses me off. Still got burns on my skin. These barbed wire stores are itchy. It's hot. I got a headache. That pisses me off. And they want to put me in the ring against this Cesar Bononi fella. I told AEW, I said he looks good. He's 6.
He looks good, but yet it won't be if I kill him tonight, and that somebody's going to get dropped on the head, and somebody's going to get laid out, choked out. So we go to that match, Cesar Bononi versus Jon Moxley. And Jon is a big dude, and Cesar Bononi is bigger. Just saying, he is taller than him. Of course, Ryan Nemeth, JD Drake, and Mr. Peter Avalon are out there at ringside, so you know that's going to be a thing. So Moxley gave Cesar a lot. Cesar got a lot for this match, but Jon Moxley gets. So he said somebody's going to get dropped on their head. Well, JD Drake distracts the referee towards the end of the match. In comes Ryan Nemeth, and Ryan Nemeth tries to do something. Jon Moxley drops him with the Death Rider. Then Cesar Bononi picks him up. Looks like he's going for a pump handle slam, and Jon Moxley turns that into a sleeper hold. And he's up, and then he's down. Now, as I said before, Jon Moxley is the smaller of the two guys, and what is the one thing you do to knock down a big guy? You fuck up their knee. And Jon Moxley, early in the match, decided he was going to fuck up this dude's knee. And I've seen that, and I was like, you don't do that to somebody's knee. Come on, man. With someone who has knee problems, yeah, I squinted on that one. But Jon Moxley gets the win, and that is that. Then we hear from Team Taz again. And, of course, Taz says, nothing's going on. There's nothing wrong in Team Taz. Of course, Ricky Starks is like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. But I'd like to hear, especially after what we did on Dark last night. I'd like to hear what Cage has to say. And Cage is like, man, if you would have tagged me in sooner, we would have won the match sooner. But Taz is then like, well, you know what, guys? Calm down. Calm down. Everything's fine in Team Taz. So that is definitely a slow burn. I don't know when. It feels like they're trying to burn that as close as they can to the pay-per-view. So, and of course, the pay-per-view, I believe, is the end of May. So they're pushing this as far as they can. Brian Cage versus Will Hobbs or Ricky Starks is going to happen soon. He's going to be leaving the Team Taz soon. That's just the way they're going with this. Now, in the dressing room of the Pinnacle. And MJF is like, guys, I have a couple surprises for you. First, this guy right here, my own personal tailor, to be able to help us out, pick out new stuff and everything, new gear, new suits and everything. He look at all these options, but he also is like, I have another one. This place really looks like a dump, so I got some of the best room designers, and we can finally change this and make it feel like our own. He opens the bathroom door, and in there is the Inner Circle. And they are ready to fight, but it's only Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. He goes to leave the other way. Jake Hager is standing outside the door, pops him in the face. We have ourselves a brawl. Inner Circle just beats the living shit out of these guys. Sean Spears gets him and Sammy Guevara go at it. Sammy Guevara gets him down and slams the door into his face. So he's out. Santana and Ortiz are beating up on... Well, Jake Hager was fighting with Wardlow. He put him through a massage table, and I'm like, dude, why would you do that? People need those. If you're gonna throw him through a table, at least make it a table that can be broken and isn't used. So we see Dax and Cash dealing with Santana Ortiz. Dax gets sent to an ice. Dash gets sent to an ice bath. Harwood is bleeding, and Santana jabs him with a piece of wood. Jericho and MJF battling in the locker room still. Jericho takes MJF over the toilet and shoves his face into it. And then he picks him up, takes him, and says the worst is yet to come, and throws him straight through the Pepsi machine glass. Jericho takes a swig of bubbly, pours on MJF and says, this is our dressing room, bitch. And says, get him out of here. They haul him out, take their locker room back, and that is that. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to when they decide they're going to go with the Blood and Guts, because it's coming. They wanted to do Blood and Guts last year. It was going to be the Inner Circle versus the Elite. Unfortunately, all this scandemic bullshit happened, and we didn't get that. But now it looks like it's going to be the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Should be a lot of fun. Alex Marquez is backstage with the Young Bucks. What happened with them and Kenny Omega on last week? Matt says they don't want to keep talking about this, and Don Callis shows up, tells Nick and Marv to bounce, and tells Matt he needs to listen to something.
To say to you, man to man, I love Kenny Omega. He's my family. I thought you loved Kenny Omega too. You talk about him being your best friend. You know what you did last week? You broke his heart. Like he said, he chose this place. He didn't choose AEW over his life in Japan or over more money and fame. He chose you and your brother. He made a choice based on family. What did you do last week? You chose to leave him in the ring bleeding like an animal. You could have helped and you chose not to, just like with your dad. Are you so dead inside that you don't feel anything for the people who loved you? I don't care what you think about me, but you broke Kenny's heart. What is wrong with you? What has happened to you? You got no explanation, right? You had nothing. It's gonna go count your money. Matt, I honestly, I've been trying to reach you. I don't even know how I am supposed to get through to you because you're so cold and dead inside. I don't even.
Grab Callis by the throat, or by the collar.
Really? That's it, eh? That's all. Is there anything inside you at all? Matt, you are truly pathetic. You make me sick.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're going to go with this, but it really is. He's looking to either split the Young Bucks up and get Matt to join Kenny, or like this is going to go down that route, I have no idea, but next week we'll find that out for sure. Rey Fénix, Pentagon, and Loretta Kid versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. This was awesome. Talk about 6 guys going out there and earning their paycheck. My goodness, this was one of those matches. The Luchadors, from the start, just get on these guys from jump, and are just all over Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. From the start, it was just a crazy match from start to finish. Like, holy hell, what do you do with this? You have just lucha move after lucha move after lucha move. It's like, I can't even, like, it's so fast, you can't even see it. It's going so fast. And then, of course, eventually the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega bring it down a bit, but not much. Honestly, this thing was fast from start to finish. So, you had a Canadian Destroyer, you had these guys going up doing the topes from the inside to the outside. Just so much going on in this match that it was hard to keep up. But in the end, Kenny Omega gets the one wing angle on Laredo Kid for the 1, 2, 3 after a V-trigger. So, after the match, Jon Moxley just carelessly strolls down. I wouldn't say carelessly, but he just strolls down to the stage as Omega and the guys celebrate. Moxley slowly makes his way towards the ring, and out come the Young Bucks. The 6 competitors stare each other down. Moxley and the Bucks rush the ring, but Omega and the crew scatter, and we are getting that match next week. What will happen? Will the Young Bucks, will Matt Jackson turn his back on his brother and join Kenny Omega? Will the Young Bucks turn on Moxley and join, or will they do the right thing, super kick Kenny Omega, and end their friendship in kayfabe forever? Then we get more bullshit from the Faker, Britt Baker, who says she saw Thunder Rosa being on those cards like AEW Dark Elevation. It's a great place for her to get her wins because the match she had against me was unsanctioned, so it didn't count. Baker says she'll still be here putting women's wrestling on the map. Please. This woman has never, nor will she ever, put the women's division on the map. She is lucky to even have a spot. The only reason, in my opinion, she has a spot is because her boyfriend is best friends with these guys, with the Elite. That is it. If it wasn't for that, she wouldn't be where she is. So, Matt Hardy talks about the Bunny being excluded from the title picture in the women's tournament, but the exclusion won't happen any longer with her in the Matt Hardy Empire. It also notes that Tay Conti will pay for the Dark Order sins. And we go to Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero and the Bunny versus Matt Hardy Empire's... with the Matt Hardy Empire versus Tay Conti and Women's Champion Hikaru Shida with the Dark Order. Of course, the Dark Order is out there because Matt Hardy's Empire, Vicky Guerrero are all out there. So why wouldn't they be out there to even the odds? So basically, this match, it was very predictable what was going to happen. For like there was going to be a brawl outside. There was Shida, Tay Conti and Shida both went out there, splashed off, dove to the outside, laying everybody out. Vicky Guerrero gets a distraction. Bunny hits her, Tay Conti with the kendo stick, hits her finisher, which they call the rabbit hole, I guess, the twisting elbow, and they get the win. Not a good match. Nyla Rose is decent, the Bunny is blah, but they added way too much. The Dark Order, honestly, the referee should have just said, Dark Order, Matt Hardy's Empire, Vicky Guerrero, you're all out of here. Should have been that, or something. There was no reason to have the big, huge brawl between all of those guys. It was just stupid. So, next week on the show, Jon Moxley and AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. The Bunny versus Tay Conti with -1 out there, so that'll be interesting. Darby Allin versus JD Drake for the AEW TNT Championship, and people are wondering, why is JD Drake getting a title match? Well, simple. Darby Allin wanted to have an open fight. He has a, what do you call it? A buck. I'm losing my head. I'm so dumb, I can't think of it off the top of my head. An An open challenge. There we go. An open challenge. He issued an open challenge. JD Drake was the first one to step up, and that is why he's getting a match. You don't like it? I don't care. JD Drake will probably get his ass beat, and that is that. Jurassic Express versus Bear Country, sponsored by King Kong versus Godzilla, because we gotta go that way. Don't know why. I do not care. And Backstage, Jungle Boy says his team is tired of Bear Country throwing around Marco Stunt, and next week they're going to show Bear Country who is top of the food chain. And then we go to our Arcade Anarchy match. The best man, Miro, Kip Sabian versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. If Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy lose this match, apparently Chuck Taylor will become Miro's butler forever. That was not explained. I don't know if that is still a thing, but that's what the challenge was issued. They never mentioned that. So there's a prize section that has a bunch of weapons on it. The two teams battle away. Cassidy and them were just fighting over a whack-a-mole. Miro is beating the hell out of Chuck Taylor. Miro was just going ballistic on everybody. He looked angry, like he was so fed up. He didn't want to do this anymore. He didn't want to. He already said a couple weeks ago he was done with this feud. He won the match. He was done. He wasn't coming back. And unfortunately, because Kip Sabian can't keep his mouth shut, he was forced to have this match. So he took his anger out on both Cassidy and Taylor. You had a chair put up in the middle of in the corner, which he threw Orange Cassidy into, which looked like that hurt because the chair did not move. You had, again, whack-a-mole, which Orange Cassidy put him put Kip Sabian through the sign and started hitting him with the hammer. Miro used the hammer on Orange Cassidy. They had arcades all around. I really wish I was there so I could get one of those ones and just lift it off as they're putting things away. And then the first return happens, as it looks like Orange Cassidy is going to get the win. Penelope Ford pulls him out, and pulls his belt out, her belt off. That she gives him a low blow. He's over by they had the crane game. Pops up Chris Statlander with a little bit of green face paint on. I don't know what the face paint was for, but okay. But she pops up, pushes the glass, the plexiglass out into Penelope Ford's face. She beats up on her, pulls her up onto the ringside. There is a table with what looks like an air hockey table on top of it, because you couldn't put a real air hockey table out there, because trying to put somebody through that, you would probably injure somebody. And she just drives her right through the table, taking her down. So Miro, pissed as a motherfucker, goes out there, beats the hell out of these guys again. They're over by the ramp where you saw FTR used to bring their truck in, which they stopped doing that gimmick, which is a shame because that was a pretty cool gimmick. And they start crawling when we see two car lights come up. And then two car lights, and a car comes down, and it's Sue, Trent Loretta's mom. Trent makes his return. He comes out. You see this look of happiness and oh yeah, we're gonna fight on Miro's face. These three guys start beating up on Miro. He eventually gets put through a table. You have Sabian is up on the stage. He's kicked. Running power slam through a bunch of tables. 1, 2, 3. Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy get the win. The best friends, Cassidy, come in. They do their hug. Then Chris Statler comes in. They all do a hug, and then they go over and they do the thumbs up to the mom, to Sue, and the show goes off the air. Hell of a way to end the show. This was a really fun show. The women's stuff just was a little off. I don't think they should have had the match go that way. I can't wait to see what they do with the Inner Circle. Oh yeah, by the way, in this match they did bring Legos out. I forgot to mention that. Fucking Chuck Taylor decides there's a teddy bear up here. Pulls the teddy bear down, throws Kip Sabian into the ring. opens it up, and it's got fucking Legos, and they do a powerbomb spot in Legos. I'm sorry, but I'd rather take tacks than Legos. I'm just saying. I wouldn't want to take tacks. But, yeah. Good show overall. Christain definitely getting back in the flow of things. Will be a while for him. So, yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, the women's match just was a bleh. It was boring. It just was so dumb, and I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Like I said, if they would have taken out and just had Vicky there for whatever reason, if you would have had just Vicky there, it would have been fine. But having the Dark Order and Matt Hardy's guys there to have a big, huge, fucking unnecessary brawl made no sense to me. And it is what it is. But it was a good show. And not much else I can say about it. Good show overall. I can't wait to see what happens with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. Cody, like that whole QT thing, I don't know what to think about that. Great to see Chris Statlander back. It's been so long. It's been almost 9-10 months, so it's great to see her back. It brings a boost to the women's division that was desperately needed. And hopefully we'll see her as a women's champion in the coming months. But until then, we'll have to just wait and see how it goes. But next week's card looks stacked. I can't wait to see what they actually do with it too. But that is all for your AEW on TNT review. By the way, make sure to start using that Inner Circle in the bathroom picture as a meme, because that 100% should be something. Like, take that picture because it's all over social media. Go take that picture, caption it, and just have a lot of fun with that. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at the Frowns Club. I'm sorry. Find me on my Frowns Club. Find me on Twitch.tv/Frowns Club. And find me on Instagram at the Frowns Club. And I will see you guys Friday for SmackDown. The last live SmackDown until after WrestleMania. Until then, my name is Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.